This week on the Socratic Cinema Podcast.
Wrong.
The
I'm
CSI
rapidly
girl.
Yeah.
I'm Google searching malignant movie cop gay, and I'm not finding much.
Okay.
I know. I think your entire world just, sort of shimmered away, and now you're in the underground of Seattle. So please.
Yeah. Please, off my soapbox.
Wait. What is the criminal repercussions for Madison? Like, is she charged with anything? How does that work?
Welcome back, everyone. Another week, another movie. I'm Kasey Clark.
I'm Charlie Heatherly.
And you already know who I am. It's James DeLisio.
I don't actually.
We don't.
Get out of the call. Who are you?
Anyways.
Get out of my house. Oh my gosh. Anyways, we are here, are in a silly, goofy mood to bring you guys.
Yep.
It's spooky month.
It's spooky month. So we decided to do our first actual spooky movie, perhaps.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Is it horror? Is it comedy? Is it a reason for me to bang my head against the wall? We'll figure it out. But this week, we have watched Malignant, James Wan venture. And if you don't know who he is, that's Insidious and Conjuring Man. Yeah, so essentially how I explain James Wan is great cinematography. Plot.
True.
But let's jump into first impressions. You know what? I'm going to throw it over to Charlie if you're ready.
Ooh. Yeah, totally ready. Yeah, James Wan, as Kasey said, Insidious, Conjuring, Saw as well. The new Aquaman movie that is coming out.
No.
Certainly a pick.
Let's
see how that goes.
What's going on with putting horror directors in charge of superhero movies? I mean, we've got Sam Raimi doing the next Doctor Strange as well. It's like,
yeah.
Are we
I'm
edgelords
for it.
now?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's like, I'll deal. That's fine.
Heck yeah. Well, like the reason they put James Wan as the head of Aquaman 2 is because I think they were going to do something with the Deep, which is like the Mariana Trench, and there's a lot of evil fish people that live down there.
Ooh, yes.
Like the uncle from Luca.
Yes, exactly, but just deadly with teeth.
Yeah.
That'd be funny to see the uncle in Luca, like, covered head to toe in blood.
Yeah.
It's
Someone make that
Luca.
fan art.
Please, and send it to us. Tag us in it once you do.
It will be our new profile pic for the month of October. But yeah, so Malignant, not my favorite of James Wan's horror movies, I will say. And in fact, Malignant was incredibly frustrating to me because there are moments of it that are really interesting and that start to get very entertaining and very scary. And then 5 seconds later, it's undercut by some weird cut, like awful dialogue. Just wow, I cannot believe that an adult wrote some of these lines. And just sort of not scary stuff generally. James Wan is at his best when he doesn't reveal the monster for a little bit. The reason why The Conjuring is so good is because the first 40 minutes of it, you don't see the ghost. It just does ghost stuff. And you're like, the suspense is being ratcheted up for like half the movie. But in this movie, you start to get that at the very beginning after the most insane introduction I have ever seen in my life. That was, I mean, I was paying attention after that, I will say. But you start to get that, and then they just reveal what the monster looks like. Like 10 minutes into the film, you already know who the villain is, and it pretends like it's sort of a ghost flick, and then it changes at the very end, and it's more of a slasher film. Should have just made it a slasher film. You shouldn't have put Saw and Insidious together. It should have just been one or the other. So, yeah, I think generally it's a confused horror movie that should have stuck with a more specific subgenre. And overall, I'd probably give it like a 6.5. I think I liked this stylistically more than Venom 2, but I think generally both of them gave me the same level of like enjoyment experience. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, James, how do you feel? How are you doing?
Right. So I hate horror movies. I'm not a fan of them, and I've always sort of You guys remember last spooky month how we watched like Tim Burton movies? Yeah, it's because I didn't
Yeah.
want to watch any horror movies.
The scariest you'll ever
Blame
go is Nightmare
James.
Before Christmas.
But this year, he's like, "Oh, what about *Malignant*?" And I was like, Fine, I'm a giver. I'll do one. I'll do a scary." Um, and it wasn't *Malignant* wasn't scary. Like,
Yep.
and the thing with this is that because I haven't seen very many horror movies because I don't like them. I'm I don't really know what a horror movie should be. So whenever I watch one, I'm just kind of like, "Oh, is this what horror is? Like, is this how scary movies are?" And I was thinking that while watching *Malignant*, being very not scared, I was like, "Oh, maybe I can do horror because this is like not scary." But I don't know. I'm not gonna just jump into the deep end now. But
Scream next.
yeah, Scream next. *Malignant* was very entertaining, a lot of fun. There was a lot of this movie that was really, really bad. I think Charlie was right. The acting and the dialogue, specifically the dialogue, was was so bad. It was, especially the lines they gave to Gabriel. That
Oh,
was that was terrible.
Yeah.
It was really bad. Um, but I liked the heavy usage of practical effects. I thought that was really cool, and I'm glad it was practical. I thought it had a really cool effect with the whole like backwards walkiness. That looked really cool, and I think it would have looked weird if it was CG. I thought the action like fight set pieces were cool, but felt out of place. Like Charlie said, it was a weird ghost movie turned slasher. I think it should have stuck to the ghost part, personally, maybe. But this
Really?
movie just took so many twists and turns. Yeah, because the ghost part was the only part where I was like scared. I wasn't scared when it was a slasher because it's like
Yeah.
I can
I
handle
mean,
gore. I can't handle like spooks.
no, that's fair. I think that I had the most visceral reactions when I saw somebody's wrist get snapped.
That was
yeah.
insane.
Like, it was pretty brutal. Like, I've seen a lot of gore, and like this gore was the worst kind, where it's like all the bones are sticking out,
Mm.
or you just get like really weird breaks and blood in different places. Like, to me, the slasher part of it was fairly interesting, and the ghost story was something that I've seen before, but it was compelling. Like, I think the moments where he was trying to build up suspense were personally compelling. But yeah, it's just
Right.
the fact that he breaks it so often that's incredibly jarring.
Yeah, and these twists and turns took me by surprise. Like I didn't foresee the twist coming. There's a lot of twists. Like I say the twist, but what does that mean? Um, but
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, we're talking about the whole thing. Um, I think the design of the villain was pretty cool. I thought it was a cool gimmick, like a cool concept. Um, it's sort of the kind of one of those things where if you think too hard about it a little bit, you start to like have some questions about the movie as a whole, but I haven't thought that hard about it. And then finally, actually no, I'll save that for post initial impressions. Overall, I would say I would give *Malignant* a 7.5, good to watch with friends.
Ooh. That
Yes.
bumps up my score for watching with friends. That's 2 of 7 for me if you watch it
Right,
with
yeah, because I watched this with friends, and the entire time we were huddled in our little desks, and every 5 seconds we were just saying some sort of goofy line with the word "malignant" in it. Like whenever anyone, the cops walked in, and we were like, "Uh, things are looking pretty malignant in here." It's like Gabriel would open up his face and be like, "That's right, baby. Now I'm malignant."
Malignant.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to do the cheesy line, and they never did it. I'm so upset.
With all the cheesy lines, they couldn't have said malignant once.
Once.
Right? Oh, no, my favorite is when I was looking through reviews of this movie, and one guy was like, well, I mean, I was able to see the twist coming, but that's only because I'm an experienced doctor and understand some of the terminology. It's like malignant tumor is not that hard to understand, my
Yeah,
guy.
if you know what the word means, you can kind of make some guesses, but I knew what the word means, and I feel like it didn't guide me that much. Like,
I mean, I knew the twist. Like, I knew that she was going to be Gabriel in some form. I didn't expect a parasitic twin on the back of her head.
when
But-
that shot happened, I was like, what? that completely floored me.
Hilarious.
It was absolutely hilarious. It was, and I like that they don't. I mean, they're sort of hinting that Gabriel's like some sort of demonic entity, and then in reality, it's like, no, he's just a really sour like parasite.
Yeah.
Like he's just bitter.
Truly salty.
Yeah.
He's just an angry little man.
He's just a little guy.
And
He's
it's like,
just a little lad.
where
stuck on
did
the
he
back
get?
of her head.
Where did he get his psychic powers from? It doesn't. Unclear. It doesn't
It don't matter.
Yeah. What the hell is with the electricity always like short circuiting?
See,
Well,
we're
and-
thinking too hard about this.
And the fact that he can make like mind illusions and all of this stuff, you know, I don't know. I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't.
Wow. It
Nothing
doesn't.
does.
Yeah. Man.
Well,
Well,
yeah. What were your initial impressions?
Malignant. Let's see. Hilarious. I was laughing, like full belly, just my
Guffawing.
goodness, guffawing, truly.
Slapping your knees.
slapping my knees.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I think within the opening scene where it's like, it's time to cut out the cancer, I about lost it. And it just got worse from there. It was we have a discount Keanu Reeves as Detective Kakoa, 10 out of 10. Was very much glad that he didn't kick the bucket because I would
Yeah.
have been very
Yes.
upset about that.
He was cool.
He was
Yeah.
cool.
Wait, quick question about him. Did they confirm that he was either gay or bi? Because I thought that there was a
What?
line that said he missed something with his boyfriend. And then
Damn.
Wait, was there? Because he totally had that thing going on with the
With
sister.
the sister.
yeah, well, that's why I was confused, is because I thought I heard that boyfriend line, and then I thought that the sister and then the other detective who like did forensics was hitting on him.
Hold
So
on.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
it's
Googled-
possible
Zero
that
out
I'm
of
just
10 for
wrong.
her. The
I've
CSI
rapidly-
girl.
Yeah.
I'm Google searching malignant movie cop gay, and I'm not finding much.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, overall, I definitely agree that the movie is best when you're watching it with friends. Watching it by myself or semi by myself. My roommate was in the room hearing all of my commentary. But this movie was like banana boat bonkers. It kept getting worse and worse, and it didn't make sense. And you just have to like forget trying to make it make sense. But overall, I feel like I'd watch it again. I think I'm gonna force my roommate to watch it with me tonight because it's hilarious. And it's just so funny. And for that, you know what I'm giving it, ladies and gentlemen, and
Oh,
everyone in
no.
between.
No way.
No,
I'm gonna
you
give it a
can't.
7.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
there-
So agreement. This
I
is
can't-
about a 7.
I can't find any confirmation on whether or not he was a part of the LGBT community, but I did find an article called Kakoa Shaw from Malignant is so hot it's scary.
Oh god.
But-
Also,
That's not true.
the abusive husband in the beginning. Oh,
What
thank
are you
goodness.
about to say?
No. He is what's his face from Percy Jackson.
No, is he Logan Lerman?
No, he's Luke.
not Logan
Oh,
he's Luke.
Thank God.
And I
Okay.
fully had to like search him. Like he looks really familiar because I watched the Percy Jackson films, and then he was also like the love interest in the Host series, by like the Stephanie Meyer adaptation of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, dang, this is what we doing now. The teen dystopian money truly ran out. He's like, dang, got to resort to being a shitty husband. I'm glad he died though. That
I
was
am
a
glad he died.
gruesome neck snap, not gonna lie.
Goodness. I always feel weird when you can see the neck bone like poking against the skin. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like when I feel my neck, I don't feel bone. You know, like I know
I
there's
hope not.
I know there's one in there, but it's
Oh my
weird to see
gosh.
that that
Yeah.
popping out.
Yeah, Gabriel turned him man's into a whole Tetris piece. For real.
My man's looking like the L shape.
Like the L shape, truly.
So my first like take, I guess, my first impression, which is really, it's not really my own take. It's the take of my good friend Kiki Meadows, prominent famous video essayist and member of the essay library community. This movie is basically just Control, the video game, but a movie, by the way. And
Really?
yeah, have you played Control, Charlie?
No, I was under the impression that it was sort of just like there is a play. It's like basically SCP Foundation, the game, a
Kind
little
of.
bit, and there's like an alternate reality. Like it's confusing.
Control is basically like you play as this girl. Spoiler alert for Control, but like soft spoilers, because I'm gonna try my best. You play as this girl, and you're like investigating this huge, like ever expanding bureaucratic building where they do all sorts of like covert, weird experiments with like psychic boogaloo weird stuff. And basically, like, it's about you trying to find your brother, who is one of said psychic weird boogaloo experiments. And because you're the brother's sister, you also have psychic cool powers. And it's like, oh, this feels a lot like when I was watching Malignant, like that opening scene in the lab and the whole just like stuff about all the VHS tapes and like, oh, Madison uncovers her psychic powers to beat Gabriel. It was like, yeah, this is very Control. This is very, I think Control does it a lot better. And honestly, I'm not crazy about Control, but I liked it better than Malignant. Uh, so if you like Malignant and want more of this flavor, try Control. That's my first take. Anyways, there's really not
Wow.
much to go off of there because neither of you guys have played Control.
That makes me less excited to play Control because it was in my backlog.
See, okay, Control is fine. Like for most of Control, I was like, okay, this is fine. It's good, but I played it coming off of Death Stranding, which is such a dense, like profound story that when I played Control, I was just like, oh, this is fine. Like this is pretty this is pretty good. But the ending is really cool and the aesthetic is really cool and hurling around rocks with your mind is pretty cool. So it's fun. It's worth playing. It's not very long.
Okay. I mean,
That sounds interesting, though.
fair enough. I mean, I guess that Malignant does have a lot of video gamey, just sort of cheesiness to it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
Parkour
unquantifiable.
backwards.
It's the vibes. It's a lot of vibes.
parkour backwards. You have the super edgelord Gabriel who's got to wear his cool trench coat.
Oh my
so like here's the thing.
gosh.
I really, really like the idea of this weird parasitic like twin who walks backwards and there's a head on the back of his face.
Mhm.
Like that's
Mhm.
super terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And I think that they could have made, well, number one, they should have chosen a better name than Gabriel, like really fallen angel, devil. It's really not interesting. Even
Wait,
I got that one.
That's not. Huh? Are you thinking of Lucifer?
Yeah, Lucifer. Same thing. Isn't Gabriel the nice one, actually?
Gabriel's an archangel.
Archangel.
Wait, so why'd they call him Gabriel?
I don't know. Gabriel was the one who told Mary she was going to have Jesus, I think.
But Gabriel's like super against kids.
In this movie.
Yeah, do you guys think that Gabriel is pro-choice? Ooh, political. Gonna steer back away from that topic.
Let's open that door and then immediately close it.
So Gabriel's not pro-choice. He says, I am the only one who can make the choice for every human. But
Honestly.
like he could have been a great slasher villain. I think that he could have been like in the same vein, definitely not as good. I'm not comparing them in terms of like greatness, but in the same vein as like Jason or Freddy or like, weird person with, cool thing. In this case, it would be a person on the back of your head. And that could have been cool, but he didn't do that for half the movie. Wan just decided like, oh, I'll only make this Saw for the last 30 minutes. And the rest of it will not be that. So it hurts me. Like, did you guys like Gabriel as much as I did, or am I just like the only one here?
No, I thought it was a cool villain. I thought it was a really cool concept, and then I think they overexposed him. Like,
Yes.
I got someone, my friend pointed it out while we were watching it. He was like, every time I see him, he looks worse.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah, essentially.
because it's scary when you see that gross face for the first time. And then by the end of the movie, you're just so desensitized because they just pile on the action. It's just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I will say what really broke up that monotony and really worked for me at the end was when Madison sort of like did a reverse dream sequence thing on Gabriel. That was
Mhm.
pretty cool. That got me. Like,
Yes.
I fell for it. I really thought the movie was just about to end with the mom and sister dying. I was like, bruh.
No, what? I knew that she was pulling that immediately. This is
Oh,
the only movie that I have been able to correctly predict all of the turns of. Like,
Wow, look
wow.
at you, Charlie.
I don't know why it was this movie, but I'm gonna be proud of it because usually I fall for every little thing that a director does because I'm so invested. But in this
Mhm.
case, I knew that that was happening, and it was still cool. It's a really cool thing that she does the reverse Trixie.
Yeah, it is very cool. And it's very
Yes,
you
the
know
Jedi
you know what
mind
it
trick.
is? It's very control. Very control.
Wow,
Okay, James.
we're forced to agree with them.
Right.
Take my
We
word for
can't
it.
say no. Yeah,
See, that's
I
that when we get the hate comments. We do.
oh my gosh.
Everyone loves control. Don't worry.
I mean, I definitely agree with you guys. I feel like Gabriel, like when as we've been talking about, like he was way better as like this shadowy figure, just cutting off these people, working down his hit list. And I feel like if they had elongated like the mystery of who Gabriel is, then it would have been a lot better. Like I like the dream sequences where we get oh my gosh. I'll just call her Emily. But Emily,
Madison?
Maddie. Yeah. Well, her official name is Emily May. But
Okay.
yes,
Liv's name is
Madison.
Madison.
Dang.
But yes, Madison just getting like sucked into the like dream sequence, killing, like getting to watch people get absolutely slaughtered. Like I like that. I wish the list was honestly longer. I wanted more of that
True.
in the
So
movie.
true.
But then we get all this time like spent and like, oh, he's making the weapon and he's tying this person to the ceiling. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When she fell through the ceiling,
Big we do not care vibes.
we do not
That
care.
was
No one
hilarious.
was even looking for her.
I'm sorry, we do not care.
We do not care.
I agree. I think I really liked the whole oh, she can like see these murders as they're happening. And what I wanted, because I read the synopsis and it was like a woman like gains the weird ability to be transported to the sites of murders and she tries to help these detectives crack the case. I wanted more of that. Like I wanted that to
Yeah.
that was like
Right.
1/8 of the movie. I wanted that to come through a lot stronger. Like this being a sort of like supernatural power to help like the sixth sense kind of like, oh, I see dead people, let's use that to solve the case. Like I'm a sucker for paranormal detective stories. So I thought, I mean, I personally was looking for a little bit more of that in Malignant. I think this movie just couldn't decide on what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Is it a ghost story? Is it a detective story? Is it a slasher? And it wound up being sort of like a weak, watered down version of all three.
Yeah. Half of all of them. Not even half.
I guess a third.
A third of all of them.
I do want to say, I really liked the whole. It was a very minor part of the movie, but I liked the whole like set piece idea of like the city built on top of the older city.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
no,
that's
Seattle Underground's really cool.
that's so cool, and I wish they used more of it. Like they did for one fight scene, but that just that would have been cool, and it would have like tied in thematically to the movie as a whole, right? Because you have this like veneer of goodness and modernity and newness on top, and then there's this ugly like thing hiding beneath the surface, and it's like, oh, this ugly thing hiding beneath the surface from the past, mind you, that everyone's forgotten about. It's like, okay, this could very clearly be drawn as an allegory to Madison with Gabriel sort of like hiding underneath. And so it makes sense that Gabriel's like lair would be in this city beneath the city. It's like missed opportunity, I think, to do a lot more. Instead, we got Gabriel saying, she didn't even know I was hiding in her attic. We do not care. Shut up.
Well, yeah, like, no, you're so right. The Seattle Underground is such a great metaphor and an allegory for everything that's going on
Yes.
inside of this film. And if it was made by somebody who really cared about that thematic message, then I think it could have been really, really compelling. Unfortunately, James Wan did not do that. And I don't really remember at any other point there being a really strong, like, visual metaphor in any of his other films that I've seen. Like, Kasey, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, usually it's pretty bare bones. Like, it's just a
Yeah.
symbol for a thing, like the upside down cross he uses a lot.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez. Yes.
you
Beats
know,
it to death, honestly.
yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, and I think in the hands of a skilled director, that could have been used very efficiently. But I want to pivot a little bit and talk about why some people really enjoy this film. And they enjoy it because it's cheesy. They enjoy it for all the reasons that we think that it's sort of weird. Like, they like the awkward, popcorny dialogue. They like the big dramatic twists that don't really make a whole lot of sense. And a lot of the reasons that they give, or at least from the people that I've talked to, is that it reminds them of, like, these classic 80s slasher flicks and these classic 80s horror films. But and I think all of us can sort of make a counter argument to that. This movie is not as good as those. Like,
It
just
isn't.
True.
how is this movie Scream? In what way is this as good as Scream? Scream is smart. It is clever. That is why it has stood the test of time. Malignant is not that. It is stupid.
I haven't seen any of the classic horror movies, so I can't weigh in too much on this. But yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong. I liked the corniness and the goofiness of Malignant. Like, I mean, I liked it as in I enjoyed watching it. Like, I had a fun time watching the movie. But when it, like, comes down to critical inspection, it just doesn't hold up in the way that I think a lot of the more classic horror movies have. And I'm making that sort of argument based only on the fact that they're such a big part of pop culture now, and I just don't see Malignant becoming that.
No,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like, what do you reference from Malignant that you like? Scream is so iconic.
Time
it has
to cut out
iconic
the
moments.
cancer.
Time to turn out the cancer. Like, the stupidest line known to man. Like, the poster for this movie is more compelling than the movie. That
Yeah,
Yeah, the
poster is
poster was
awesome.
insane.
Where did that I was expecting some, like, scene where someone gets their eye stabbed out, and then it just didn't happen.
Right, I thought when they were in, like, the hotel across from the silver cup or whatever, where it's, like, all
Yeah.
the red and Gabriel had, like, the knife thing, I definitely thought he was gonna hold, like, the knife up to Madison's eye, and I thought that would have been a really cool shot,
Mhm.
but no,
Yes,
alas.
speaking of cool
I
shots,
can't have anything.
there were a lot of really good shots. Like, that ones that stand out to me are, like, there's a shot, like a bird's eye view of the house floor plan as
Yes,
Madison's, like,
that was so
and
good.
and you travel up to the second story. Like, she goes up the stairs and the camera keeps following from this bird's eye view, and it was really cool. Like, how do you even do that? And then another one was, like, love-hate relationship, because it was that big long take of Gabriel just fighting all of the cops in the detective building. Um,
Oh, jeez.
Because what a
Yeah.
like, that would have been really cool in a different movie.
Yeah. No, the underlying theme that we have found is that this movie was confused by its own identity, and you can see it from the promotional footage. Like, even the poster. That movie is very clearly this woman is getting teleported to places that are murders, and she needs to try and solve them, right? And
Mhm.
she's like the victim essentially, but she doesn't actually die. That's awesome. That is so cool. It is not
Mhm.
what I watched. Like,
Truly.
It's like-
Not at all.
not at all.
Maybe that will be Last Night in Soho, though. If you guys have seen trailers for that,
So excited.
Oh,
I think
man.
Last Night in Soho might scratch that itch, because that's entirely what it is. It's like this girl, when she dreams, she's, like, in the body of this other lady who got killed, and so now she, like, has to solve the murder through these dreams, and it's like, oh, that's so cool, and it's Edgar Wright.
Yeah. And it's
and
Anya
this-
Taylor-Joy.
And it's that chick from Jojo Rabbit.
How?
Wow.
Yeah. Stacked cast,
The
stacked
ginger
Yeah.
crew.
one? Okay.
Yeah, the one who was the Jewish girl.
Oh, yes.
Last Night in Soho is going to be so good, because I love all the pieces. I hope it comes together well. There was something I wanted to say. There's something that I wanted to say. Oh,
Oh,
I thought the sort of like I've been trying to think about what's the theme of this movie, and it's like found family, I guess.
oh
It's
God.
you
Yeah,
know,
let's talk about it.
right? Okay, because here's the thing:
Yeah.
Madison knew from the start that she was adopted. That was a secret to. That was like a big revelation to her sister, but not to Madison, right? Madison always knew. And it didn't seem to really influence her relationship with her family that much. It bothered Gabriel clearly, but Madison seemed relatively, at peace with it. Um, and then in the end, the whole big lesson learned moment is where Madison was like, "Because you've always been my sister and you've always been right beside me." It's like, yeah, when has that changed? Like, when has that not
Right.
been the case in this movie? So it's like found family, but they've been found from the start. Like they're Gabriel needed to learn a lesson here, not Madison did not really her only growth is
Say that last part again.
but and that wasn't oh gosh, I know I'm in the malignant zone.
You, I,
Um,
I know. I think your entire world just, sort of shimmered away, and now you're in the underground of Seattle. So
am
please,
Yeah.
have I clawed back up yet?
you've clawed
Yes.
back up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know how far I got, but Madison doesn't learn anything in this movie except for how to use her psychic powers, and they don't even use that as like an allegory for any other personal growth. It's straight up she learns how to use her psychic powers. Maybe she's like more empowered to like stand up for herself and not, like fall into these abusive relationships or something, but that feels like kind of a reach around way of doing that. Uh,
Very.
just, I feel like there was not a very good conclusive message to this movie, and that's
Yeah.
frustrating.
No, I totally agree. I feel like with most movies, especially horror movies, but most movies, they really do not handle their adoption plots well, like at all.
Mhm.
It's
Hmm.
always like, oh well, you're adopted and your biological family or like your biological father's a serial killer and that's why you're doing all this stuff or whatever. Or oh, there's something that happened in your past and we can't figure it out. Why? Because you're adopted and no one writes anything down, apparently. But it just
You,
is like a very, very weird and but as far as I've seen, it's never done right. It's usually just
yeah,
like a not fleshed out uh kind of just like device that people use to create more suspense even though
yeah.
it's just never done well.
It's not tasteful. What did we
Right,
talk? We
yeah.
talked about this in one
Several
episode.
times. I
Yeah,
bring it up whenever I can,
no, but
Yeah.
honestly.
it was there was like a specific episode where we got into it, and I'm trying
Luca.
to no, I wanna um 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 um
It was one of them, but
It was
like,
one
I
of
don't
them.
remember.
I
Anyways,
know. I
uh,
just
you know what movie did do it well?
what? Which movie?
Prince of Egypt, babe.
the best
Damn
adoption
straight.
story.
The
The
best
best movie
adoption
ever.
story.
I'm sorry,
Truly.
bro. The dynamic between Moses and Ramses in that movie. I've been on a kick for like brother dualities recently.
Ah.
Like Cain and Abel, Moses and Ramses. Uh
You're
I
you're such
read
a vibe, James.
I read this book. I read this book East of Eden by Steinbeck that has
Oh,
a
yes. Yep.
brilliantly written one of Cal and Aaron. Um I'm reading Something Wicked This Way Comes, which has another brilliant one with they're not brothers, but the two main kids in that one. I love it. I love like these people are very closely connected, but their characteristics are like opposite, and one of them's always like more bright and happy and cheery, and the other one is like has a darkness and they're more like broody, and I'm just a sucker for it. I think it's really cool. Anyways,
You
that
would
was an
love
aside.
Squid Game then, because they
I'm
have.
I'm watching. Wait, I'm more than
Oh, I think
halfway
we
done.
talked about it last week. Did we?
I finished it, James. The two girls in that
Spoiler
show.
alert for Squid Game.
True. No,
this
yeah,
is not
no
really a
spoiler.
spoiler.
There's no spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Actually,
But-
yeah, and I agree. I need to
Yeah.
finish that still. I have like 3 more episodes.
We will not talk about Squid Game for the remainder of this episode. And if we do, we will give a spoiler warning if there's any spoilers. We pinky promise. But I'm so down to do an episode on Squid Game if, Kasey, you watch it all, because
I was about to say we probably
yeah.
won't do an episode on Squid
Oh,
Game.
No, maybe.
Dang.
Maybe.
Because there's only
Maybe.
one more week in Halloween month, and then by then it will have become irrelevant, you know?
That's never stopped us before.
True. Facts. Oh my gosh. Sorry. This is a one-off comment, but I absolutely hated the black detective. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I hated her character.
Kasey,
So
racism
much.
arc. Wow.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Ray Fisher is on our side.
Oh, I hear him knocking. Oh, no.
Oh no. Is that sorry, that's not a good knock. Is that Ray?
Yeah,
No, please. My contract isn't up yet.
honestly.
But no, her character was so frustratingly annoying to me. Just the way that, I don't know. She was definitely playing the like bad cop to Kakua's hot, good cop, right? But it was just done so like
Yep.
demeaningly. Like you can play like the good, like the bad cop, but have it be like, oh, she's the bad cop because she's like, oh, well, this is more about like regulation and what we can do within like our jurisdiction and stuff. Not being like, oh, this white girl crazy. And and I mean, like, fair. Maybe I just like related to her too much in the way that she got like vilified because of it. I was like, dang, they really set her up to be the bad guy just because she's the voice of reason.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Like, that character was, I mean, they weren't my favorite, but I also didn't like hate them. It just felt like the nice cop that you were supposed to like was taking a lot of logical leaps and bounds, and she was like, so you cannot teleport into another person's body and see a murder? That's like not a thing. She's probably the killer. And she was right.
Yeah,
She was
literally.
correct.
And it's like, oh no, look at this girl crazy. Like, oh, look at this detective beating down on this white woman in tears, in distress, in agony.
She's like, I knew
And
it
I'm
was
like-
her that was committing all the murders.
I know, and she was right, and she still got killed.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she lasted that long in the film, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, off my soapbox.
Wait, what is the criminal repercussions for Madison? Like, is
Bro.
she charged with anything? How does that work?
I mean, she sort of helped them crack the case, so maybe it's like a quid pro quo.
But she also killed everyone. She started the case.
Yeah, I don't know.
How you charge the back of somebody's head?
Yeah, this is like that one Harry Potter movie, the first one with Professor
No.
Quirrell.
Squirrel. I mean, he got death as a punishment. So
did.
Yeah.
Well, and he chose to have Voldemort on the back of his head. I'm pretty
that's
sure.
true. That's true. He chose him.
Poor Madison did not choose to have like a parasite.
Yeah. Wow.
The most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, the eye in the brain killed me.
Yeah, awful.
I was like,
So incredibly
why?
bad.
This is so makes
Honestly,
you so uncomfortable to look at.
At this point, you should just cut out the cancer. Like,
All right, and that's the end of the episode. Oh
Like,
my gosh.
come on, just, I don't care if she gets permanent brain damage. She is a walking serial killer that like can trigger at any moment. And they set it
Literally.
up for a sequel. They're like, oh, or Gabriel's like, but I'll come back. And she's like, but I'll be ready for you. It's like, no, you won't.
That's such a cool, empowered ending. And I was waiting for a cool like needle drop when the credits roll. Like it should
Nope.
have stopped right there. And it's like, like a cool song starts playing.
Mhm.
Like how this indie video game Control ends.
Oh my
Swear to
god.
God.
This movie's just worse Control. I'm sorry. It's just worse Control. Um I'm frustrated, guys.
I'm
We
frustrated
can
too.
tell.
This is the most irate I've gotten, despite the fact that I like sort of enjoyed watching parts of this movie.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah,
had a
it was
unanimous
really
we haven't had a
funny.
unanimous winner for this season yet. Like there's yet
It's
to be
been 2 episodes.
this is the third. There's yet to be one where it's like we all like it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Visions was
Yeah.
meh.
Hey,
This was
now
meh.
to
Venom was
you,
meh.
to you,
Look, I have taste and don't like the bad robot episode.
my friends said you're wrong. So no.
Okay.
Your friends don't have a podcast that can platform them.
Ooh,
So,
dang.
my opinion matters more because it's louder.
I have to be the people's hero, and I'll continue to do that.
We all cast ourselves as the people's hero every episode. It is my favorite running gag. All of us think we're the voice of the people.
We're not.
Except
Yeah.
for Kasey. Kasey's humble. She never does that. It's just you and I, James.
I'm here for a good time, guys.
Exactly. Like, we all thought we were in when we started watching Malignant, and then we were quickly dissuaded.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other super spicy hot takes that they'd like to drop about Malignant?
No.
Okay.
I feel
have-
actually yes. I feel like Jordan Peele would
Do
have ate this movie up.
Okay, hold on. Here's my thing. I've never seen a Jordan Peele movie, but I feel like he hit it out of the park with Get Out and then Us. I heard good things, but not as good as Get Out. And then everything since then has kind of been like a miss from what I've heard. Like, is Jordan Peele?
He hasn't directed anything since then.
Yeah,
What was that
he
not
produced Candyman,
what
but he
about
didn't
Annabelle?
direct it. No,
I thought that was Peele.
You've offended
No!
Kasey now.
are you?
Wait, no.
No. I'm looking this up immediately because I
No,
know
He had nothing to do with
he had nothing
Annabelle.
to do with Annabellum. If I see his name right now, I'm about to be so mad. No,
I
okay.
swear it was like
Blame
Oh.
Gerard Bush and Christopher Wren.
Wait, guys, there's a new Jordan Peele movie coming out in
Yeah.
2022.
It's called Nah, right? Not Nah.
Nope.
Ghost? Cloud? It's the
Nope.
one with the cloud?
No, it's called Nope.
Oh, it's called No. I was trying.
That was a Who's on First situation in real life.
It actually happens.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
god. Wow. I don't know anything about it, but it looks interesting.
Oh, I know where I got mixed up. Okay. The producers of Annabellum were also the producers of Get Out. And so they probably put in the trailer, like, from the producers who brought you Get Out. And I was like, oh, it's Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sorry.
Ignorance.
Sorry. My bad. Never seen one of his movies. So I'm claiming ignorance.
No, I feel like
I also haven't.
I feel like between like Jordan Peele would eat it up, but if you'd have like I just had this funny thing that I'm gonna share, but if it was like Lena Waithe that did it,
Oh.
Gabriel would just be like, "Hey, Madison would be black, and Gabriel would just be like a white head on the back of her."
Literally. No, you know what? Andy Serkis should have directed this movie so that way they could make Gabriel and Madison have a like funny
Just
rom-com
a
relationship.
rom-com.
Like Venom Let There Be Carnage, the best movie.
Oh my god, the whole time it's just like, girl, you need to kill that abusive husband of yours,
Literally.
girl. What if we just stab him? What if we snapped his neck at a 90 degree angle?
I know. I want to see
As they're, like
this.
baking cookies.
I want the spinoff to be Gabriel and Madison like having to deal with cohabiting this body.
I get it on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, literally.
No, Gabriel, it's a holiday. Remember, you don't get it on holidays. We decided this.
I was,
Damn
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I was gonna stop and just see how long Charlie would keep doing, keep playing
voice.
both parts.
I would have done it for the next 20 minutes. I
I had a feeling you would have.
Fill in the runtime.
So,
Yeah.
final takes, final call for takes.
anger.
The take train's about to leave the station.
Oh my gosh. Watch it with your friends.
Yep.
Especially it's a way to ease them into horror, as seen with James.
Apparently.
There was no demons. That's
No.
a check. It
That
was
was a check
just
for me.
ridiculousness. Utter, as I said, banana boat bonkers.
Banana
It was
boat
it was
bonkers.
pretty malignant madness, if you say. I'm
Things,
sorry.
Wow.
things for sure got malignant with this one.
Things for sure
did.
got malignant.
That's going to be the title I put on this podcast is Things Get Malignant.
Things
Yes.
get malignant.
Please do
You
that.
should. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Anyways, let's
Yes.
go into the spiel zone.
Now I gotta make like a actual transition for that. All right, let's run down the checklist here. Just gotta get open my drawer here and get my spiel.
Did he get a
Click my-
singing telegram?
click my pen here, so I can start checking stuff off my spiel.
Oh my God, Kasey. I think he did
Checklist.
get a singing telegram.
Wait, can you
Right?
hear the pen click in the mic?
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, cool.
Crisp.
Now I'm gonna start writing. Okay, if you enjoyed the episode, you can follow us on social media, Socratic Cinema or Socratic_cinema on Instagram. Check at Cinema Socratic on Twitter. Check, and that's social media covered. You can follow us on our Twitch at twitch.tv/Socratic Cinema. You can also share the episode with friends if you would like to, because word of mouth is the best form of advertising. Check word of mouth, call to action. Funding. If you would like to support this podcast, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Socratic Cinema. What is it? What is this? For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to episodes early, put your name in the description, ask us questions to be answered on the air, get weekly newsletters. I think I got that. Yeah, name and description, check.
And we'll love
correct,
you forever.
check.
course.
Yeah,
Yep.
love you forever, check.
As long as you pay us.
Okay. I'm just gonna need to sign here that the spiel waiver has been completed.
Yeah, so you fulfilled your contract for today's episode.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's all I needed. We're gonna send you some forms in the mail. Just you're gonna need a couple of initials, and we'll be good to go. Thank you very much for
You
listening.
make a great DMV worker, man. That was,
I'm-
that was
I'm-
wonderful.
I'm trying to mix it up, but yeah, no. If you want to become a patron and support us, follow us on socials, and we'll catch you next time on all major platforms for the next episode of Malignant.
The podcast.
I'll catch you parkouring backwards, y'all.
The
See you on the
Maligcast.
flippity flip.
See you literally on the flippity flip.
See you on the
See you
flip.
literally on the flippity flip.
Adios.
Audio.